What's going on, family? Scrapbook Boxing Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. Let's continue to examine 100 years of world championship fights. Now, the photo you're looking at now, 1927, between Mickey Walker, who was to your left, and Tommy Milligan, who's to your right. Now, I talked about Tommy Milligan once before with Lynn Johnson. But Tommy Milligan was a pretty decent two-fisted fighter. He got the shot over Lynn Johnson to face Mickey Walker. He would wind up getting knocked out. But decent fighter was Tommy Milligan. I'm going to leave this photo up, and I'm just going to go through some championship fights, and then we'll show some more visuals. December 11th, 1933. Jackie Brown defeats Ginger Forms, 15 rounds in Manchester, England. And he would remain the claimant of the flyweight championship title. December 25th, 1933. Frankie Glick stops Kid Chocolate, 7 rounds, Philadelphia. And he would win the junior lightweight championship belt from Kid Chocolate. Kid Chocolate took that title away from Benny Bass out of Philadelphia. January 1st, 1934. Freddie Miller defeats Jack Sharkey, 10 rounds in Cincinnati, to retain the claim of the featherweight championship belt. And you had a young Jack Sharkey, who was very strong. And that's who Freddie Miller would defeat. February 7th, Benny Bass out of Philadelphia defeats Pete Nebo, 12 rounds, New Orleans. And he would continue to be the junior welterweight champion. February 13th, Steve Hamas defeats Max Schmeling, 12 rounds, Philadelphia. I want to show you Steve Hamas. He was out of Penn State, Pennsylvania. Now you're looking at Steve Hamas. I wanted to show you Steve Hamas, who was a pretty decent heavyweight out of Pennsylvania. And he would have 2 fights with Max Schmeling. He would defeat Max Schmeling, but then Max Schmeling would defeat him in a rematch. And Steve Hamas used to step on your feet and hit you at the same time. But I just wanted to show you Steve Hamas. Now, February 17th, Kid Chocolate will give up his New York State version of the featherweight championship belt. February 19th, Panama Al Brown defeats Victor Young Perez, 15 rounds. Fight took place in Paris, and he would remain the bantamweight champion of the world. May 1st, 1934. Primo Carnera, the Ambling Elf, weighed close to 270 pounds, defeats the light heavyweight champion. At that time, he actually he gave up the belt, but he was a one-time light heavyweight champion. His name was Tommy Laughlin, Philly Phantom. Fight took place in Miami, and what was amazing about that was that Tommy Laughlin was outweighed 84 pounds, and he just couldn't handle the weight of Primo Carnera. Here you have Tommy Laughlin, a Philly Phantom, dynamic light heavyweight champion out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He would be in the ring and give up 84 pounds with Primo Carnera. Fascinating. Tommy Laughlin, Philly Phantom. I wanted to show you young Stribling. Died in a motorcycle accident, October 2nd, 1933. And I have a complete scrapbook of young Stribling. I think I showed you a few pages in one of the other videos in this series. But he had close to 300 fights with young Stribling. Very good fighter, unfortunate accident with his motorcycle. Put me in mind of Salvador Sanchez. And we'll get to Sanchez when we get to the 80s. And shout out to Blood Boxing, Retro Boxing Documentaries did a splendid job covering Salvador Sanchez's career. And I would advise you to look at that series to get information on the way Salvador Sanchez lived an unfortunate and untimely death that he would have. He had Alexis Arguello and a rematch with Gomez lined up. But Young Stribling wasn't quite that way. It was just an accident with him. He had a family and just wanted to shout him out as we continue with this series. March 13th, 1934. Yeah, Max Schmeling and Paulino Escandón settled for a draw, 12 rounds. Barcelona, Spain. May 28th, 1934. Barney Ross defeats Jim McLaurin, the babyface assassin. It was a 15-round decision. Long Island City. It was the Madison Square Garden Bowl.